This is the ultimate quick start guide. One tip for every Freegunner in Concord. Of course, Freegunners are the heroes in this game. I'm going to give you the information you guys need to know about each of the characters in the game so you can get straight into dominating. And thank you to PlayStation for sponsoring today's video. And remember, if you pre-order the digital deluxe edition of Concord, you will receive 72 hours early access prior to launch. Jabali's heal or life pulse can attach to allied players. You can forcibly throw this at players. You can see I've threw that onto my Emari there, so there's a big healing aura around us. You can also, though, throw this onto the floor and pick it up yourself. Watch me do this right now. So you can pick it up and then go and heal your team. Jabali is super strong. Next up is Lark. Now, Lark is a bit of a weird one, but what you need to do with Lark is keep dropping your Spore Seed down. This will buff your allies if they walk over it, but on the other hand, it will also debuff enemies, make them vulnerable, and slow them down. But what I want to talk about here is the Razor Pod Launcher. This is the weapon. The way this works is actually super interesting. So it's like it fires a big ball out and the ball explodes and the small projectiles lock onto targets. You can see it working here. This means you want to spam it at fast-moving enemies. Duchess. Now, I really like Duchess. She can drop walls down, but the thing with the walls are you've got a passive ability or an innate ability called Wall Disrupt, so you can run through the walls. But guess what? Your allies have got this as well. You can run through the walls. Don't forget that. Okay, let's talk about Roka. This is Roka. Couple of things to realize with Roka. If you ADS, of which I'm not doing here, I'm just straight up firing. But if you ADS, you will actually lock onto enemies. That is super powerful. Always be aware of that. But the main tip here I want to give you guys is use the hover thrusters in locations where enemies just won't expect you to be. Jump up into the air, hover, and then fire down from above. Okay, let's talk about Emari. Now, the thing with Emari is a tank, but Emari is a tank that can give armor to allies. Now, you've just seen me use it. There's an area around you, and anybody in that will get the armor. Makes you move a little bit faster as well, so always be aware of that. This, though, is the shield, right? So it's the projectile shield. Now, this actually is a destructible barrier, which means it can be destroyed. You can see in the middle of the screen the health of the barrier, but look how much damage I can take. I'm going to die here, by the way, but the tip here is stay with your team and make sure you buff your team with your armor generator as much as humanly possible. Starchild is a breacher. This means he's really good at closing distance. Look at this. You want to use your Rage Rush, but as it's coming to an end, you want to jump for extra momentum. Then you want to Power Slam. You can combo his abilities to close distance and smash the enemy. Now, his weakness is if the enemy gang up on you, there's going to be a problem, so always be aware of overextending. Devere's is a breacher as well, so very good for breaking up enemy positions or getting into the fight. Now, breacher basically uses a grenade launcher as primary fire. Use this to spam into the enemy to disrupt their positions. But what you've got to be aware of here is the passive on the movement. So when you actually dodge forward, you get damage resistance. So you always want to engage with your dodge as you go forward. See there, damage resist up. It lets you get into positions and disrupt the enemy. Really strong. One-off is an anchor that can suck projectiles. Now, this primary fire of the weapon does damage. That grenade, or the trash can, as I like to call it, it's called the trash bomb, does a lot of damage. But you can actually also change the weapon fire mode and suck in enemy projectiles and eat them. You can also use it, this is it now, to suck in cards if you're playing on the trophy hunt mode. Also, as well, make sure you throw down your air barrier because that will eat projectiles, and you can actually place it on walls as well. This is Bazz, probably my second favorite hero in the game. Bazz throws knives. The knives are hit scan, they're really strong. But what you want to do with Bazz is use the Scourge Star first. You can see I've hit that enemy with it because it makes them vulnerable, so they'll take more damage. And basically, you want to spam your lunging strike and jump all over people and make yourself super hard to hit. So watch this. I'm literally on top of them. I'm jumping above them. I'm using lunging strike. I'm going to try and throw the Scourge Star if it's available. I'm going to hit them with primary fire when I'm too far away from them. Just be a nuisance with this hero. Make it really hard for them to hit you. You can see this, hitting him with the primary fire. Then I'm going to try and get close to him and kill him with the melee, but I actually killed him with primary fire. Great hero. This is Itzy, my favorite hero in the game. So I want to talk about Scramble Rebound. You've just seen me use it there. You throw this towards enemies. When it hits them, it'll disrupt their weapon usage. But what you're waiting for is it to come back to you, because then it buffs your weapon and you do extra damage. Always try and open with it if you can. The other thing I want to talk about with Itzy is when you dash, you leave a copy behind. This is really strong because it means you can dash, the enemies will get confused and they'll shoot your copy and you're escaping away. It is really, really strong. Now, I do like Cosmic Slip as well. Fantastic ability this is. You've seen me use it in this clip. You throw it and you can teleport towards it. Great for closing distance. Okay, let's talk about Vale. The Vale tip is use the map, right? Now, with Vale, her passive is she can see low health enemies. So I totally whiffed a shot there on Bazz. I'm going to hit Bazz. Bazz is going to run off. But then you're going to see me hit Tio here. So he raises his head around the corner. But I can see Tio because he's low health. So watch this. Tio appears around the side. I can see him. And then boom, I can finish him off. Really, really strong. But you need to use the map. Also, if you can aim as well, you can get a ton of kills with this hero. Haymar, really like Haymar. So if you hold down primary fire, you'll actually charge up the crossbow. You can see it ignited in the middle of the screen. It means it does a bigger explosion. It does more damage. Really strong ability. This, though, is insane. You can use it to control corridors by setting them alight. It is a crazy, powerful ability. But I want to talk about her movement as well. She can fly or kind of hover. But you can see this here. You can float around in the sky. Really strong this is because, again, you can attack from above, use that verticality. It really catches enemies off guard. Next up is Lennox. Now, Lennox he can throw an exploding dagger for a start, as I just used there. Pretty cool. But basically, he's got 2 pistols, and the pistols reload when you swap weapons. So you can see me here cycling through the pistols. This is kind of like more of a close-range pistol, faster firing. The other pistol is the heavy pistol. It's better at range. So you're basically cycling through, and of course, he can heal himself as well. He's actually quite a good dueling hero. So, yeah, keep your eye out for him. Okay, Door. Really interesting. So Door can drop down this bubble, and this bubble stops all projectiles coming in and out of it. You can also pick this up as well. Now, a nice combo to do with Door. You're going to see me do this in a second. Oh, also, when you dash with Door, you do get a self-heal, which is really good, because Door's kind of like a tank almost, but is a supporting kind of hero as well. Basically, anyway, you want to throw down your healing pad and then throw your dome down on top of it. This will allow allies to come in and get healed. Massive, strong combo. Okay, let's talk about Tio. Tio has got smoke grenades, and Tio can see through the smoke grenades. This, again, is really, really strong because you can throw it down to cover yourself, and you can use your scope, and you can see what the enemy are doing. But not only does it see through your smokes, it sees through enemy smokes as well. So if there's an enemy TO player, you can use their smoke to your advantage. And as you can see, this is really, really, really good. I mean, you will catch people off guard with this. They won't expect you to be able to hit them because they almost feel like the smoke is protecting them. But guess what? It's not. Oh, also, he's got a frag grenade as well, which just does massive amounts of damage. So I do recommend using that. You also get a bit of a speed boost after you dash forward. Just about kill that Lennox there. I'll take it. This is Kyps. Now, Kyps can go invisible. But before I show you that, well, I guess I'll show you it now. Okay, this is the invisibility. When you dash, you become stealth. You're invisible. You can be seen, but it's very hard for the enemy to see you. And obviously, you're moving around fast. It's difficult for them to detect you. So you can use it to engage and disengage. But the other thing with Kyps is you have got security cameras. I guess that's the best way to explain this ability. Try and put them high out of sight of the enemy players, because if they see them, they'll destroy them, and you don't want them to destroy them. And yeah, make sure you use stealth. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of it for tips for each of the heroes. I was going to kind of frame this as just doing one tip for each of the heroes, and I kind of did, but what I was looking to do is kind of give you guys a very quick blast of info for each of the Freegunners. I keep calling them heroes, so I guess that's kind of what they are, really, but they're called Freegunners. So you know what you're coming up against. So if you see an Itzy, you know it's going to be highly mobile, but you don't want to get hit by the scramble rebound, because then you know Itzy's going to do a ton of damage to you. Just like here, I'm looking at one off, I'm chasing him down, I've got my weapon buffed, I'm pushing forward to try and kill him. I don't want him to turn around and shoot me. You can see how much damage it takes to actually kill him, because he's bad news. Also, he can eat my projectiles, which is not going to be a good time for me. You can see here, though, I managed to push on that Haymar, kill the Haymar. This is the trophy game mode, so I'm obviously collecting the cards after I kill the players. You can see that Bazz comes in. I'm a little bit worried about Bazz, because I don't want Bazz close to me. Could be bad for me. Then actually I end up getting taken out there. So, yeah. But I think in terms of general tips, I just would be aware of what's going on with the minimap. Like, don't ignore the minimap. This is the same goes for most shooter games. But if you can look at the minimap, it gives you a ton of information. Shows you where the healing stations are, which you really need to be aware of, because you do not have passive heal in this game. It isn't like your Call of Duties, your Overwatches, or whatever, where you just run around and you organically heal, you passively heal out of combat. That doesn't happen here. You have to get a healing station or be healed by an ally, so always be aware of that. Also, be aware of your hero's movement style. Now, this can be completely different. So you can have triple jump, air dodge, just a standard jump. Generally, you'll find the anchors, the tank characters, basically the big characters, they can only jump. They can't even double jump. You've got some heroes that can double jump. You've got some that can hover. You've got to be aware of that, so do check out your hero information card for more details. And I guess in terms of just general tips, make sure you engage from directions the enemies don't expect you to come from. Use the verticality. Verticality is always strong in FPS games. Very strong in this game, especially if you're playing highly mobile characters. And I think beyond that, guys, you'll probably have quite a good time playing this game. It is really, really fun. You know, I'm surprised by how fun the game has been. I honestly didn't think it would be as fun as it is. And I think it actually has a chance of doing some damage. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this. And once again, thank you to PlayStation for sponsoring today's video. It's been a joy to put this together. And remember, if you pre-order the digital deluxe edition of Concord, you will receive 72 hours early access prior to launch. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.